I would like to talk to you about my favorite sketching materials and how I use them in different combinations to achieve different effects. There is a huge number of materials on the market. It's easy to get carried away and buy too many, or it might be hard to make a decision what to bring when you go on location. You might feel that you don't have what you need to paint what you see. Let's discuss a few suggestions and I will show you some examples of my favorite materials and the way I combine them. The first tool I want to show you is carbon ink pen. This one was made in Japan. The brand name is Platinum. Line and wash sketching is my favorite. I think it's the fastest way to create a color sketch. This pen uses cartridges, which is very convenient. If you run out of ink on location, you can very easily change the cartridge. The nib produces fairly fine lines and it's very smooth and easy to control, and I will tell you, at least here in the States, this pen was very inexpensive. So what does carbon ink mean? It means that when it dries and we start applying watercolor, here I'm using these Japanese shadow colors. I love this palette for sketching. I think it looks very natural. Here I'm using my water brush like I would on location. So I don't have to carry a container of water with me that might tip over and spill. Water pen is much safer. So when we start applying watercolor on top of this line work, you see that line work stays in place. The ink, after it dries, is permanent. It doesn't move. We cannot reactivate it with water. So our line work will stay in place when we paint on top of it with watercolor. I would say this is my favorite combination. You see me adding watercolor to an on-location sketch that I drew with the carbon ink pen. And now that I apply watercolor, I can do it either fairly transparently, so the line work will show, or I can add a lot darker areas, kind of break up the line work a little bit if I want to. This is actually possible with these Japanese watercolors because they soften very easily with water and they have rich saturated colors in those beautiful muted shades. Here is the finished sketch. And here's another example of the same technique, carbon ink pen. The line work was done first and then I applied watercolor on top of the ink, and you see that all the line work stayed in place without smudging. So that was the first example. The second example will be using a permanent marker. Kind of similar technique. The markers I'm showing here is Sharpie, and I didn't know this for a long time, and maybe they were not on the market before, but Sharpies don't come just in black. They come in all kinds of colors. I looked at my art supply store recently and they had a whole stand of them with every imaginable color. And also the size of the tip of the marker, of that felt tip, can be very fine, like I'm using here, or it can be slightly thicker, because you cannot vary the line thickness when you draw. Unlike the fountain pen, that the thickness of the line depends on how hard you press on the pen. With markers, the line will always be the same, but you can vary the line by using different thickness markers, just different markers. And to add color, I'm going to use this little sample box of watercolors. These are Da Vinci, and they're also very handy. When you get those, it's not only a chance to try a different brand or different colors from the brand that you like, but also they're very light and there is quite enough color to go on several plein air trips. So using those little sample palettes, I think, is very practical. And it's so small and light, you can even stick it in your pocket and bring a couple of markers and your water pen and a little sketchbook, and you're all set for on-location sketching. You're always prepared and you don't have to have a huge bag of supplies. Here are a couple of examples of permanent marker and watercolor sketches. I used the ultrafine point marker. The color is brown. And then I used watercolors from Da Vinci sample box to add some color. The thing about those permanent felt tip markers is that it's hard to vary the thickness of the line when we sketch. That's why I usually have ultrafine tips and fine tips in the same color. I'm showing these examples where you can see how I combine two different thicknesses to achieve more visual interest, more variety in the line work. Here's another example of combining ultrafine and fine felt tips in brown color. So when I buy markers, I usually try to buy at least two. Now let's talk about another marker. There are actually markers that you can buy that are water soluble. They're not permanent. I'm using Elegant Writer marker, It has a chisel tip, which I think is very important, even though I believe you can buy Sharpies with a chisel tip. But what's interesting about this marker is that after you put down the line work, you can take your water brush and smudge it to create shadows. And the color that you get from this marker, it's not actually black or gray. It kind of varies, and it gives you interesting kind of blue, green, even some pinks. So your sketch will look very interesting just even with a little bit of smudging of the marker. You can see the color after the marker is smudged a little bit better in these examples. You see those blues and purples, very pretty. After line work and shadows are done, you can add some color with, let's say, oil pastels, or you can use dry pastels or even just color pencils. You see the box is small, it's easy to carry with you, and you don't need water to work with these materials, so definitely consider bringing a small box of pastels on location with you if you go, or just color pencils. Pencils will take longer to use, and pastels have much thicker line, so in just a few seconds you can create a very nice kind of line and wash sketch. The wash will be with the marker and the lines will be with pastels and the marker as well. Now let's talk a little more about inks. Before buying a bottle of ink, I do research, because as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, inks can be water soluble or they can be permanent. We used carbon ink, which doesn't move after it dries, but there are inks like Chinese ink, India ink, Sumi ink that even after they dry, you can still reactivate them with water. And this can be a disadvantage, or we can use it to our advantage, because this would be the way to create shadows very, very quickly. I'm showing here Incredible ink. The color is Hot Cocoa. I used it for this seascape. I smudged it to create reflections. I think it worked very well for the subject matter with a lot of earthy, rusty brown tones. In of course, to sketch with different inks, we can use different pens. It can be a very simple dip pen, it can be a fountain pen with cartridges, or with a little pump, so you can use a bottle of ink to fill it. Very convenient portable tool that you can carry with you very easily. This one is a calligraphy pen. It's very interesting. It's got a wide flat nib that can be used for sketching with very interesting results. I have a video on my channel where I sketch an elephant with this pen. If you would like to check it out, I'll leave you the link in the description below. So this pen can actually be the only tool that you bring with you besides the water brush, because after you draw something with this pen, you can very easily turn this line sketch into a tonal sketch. You can make the ink move with some water and create the sky, create the shadows, add some interest to the ground. So it can be a very portable and very versatile tool if you would like to give it a try, and if you use the right type of ink that can be reactivated with water. So here's a little extract from the video where I sketched with Pilot's Parallel pen, the one I showed you just now. I smudged it, I created shadows. I could have used Elegant Writer as well, doesn't matter, the principle is the same. The inks in the pen and the marker are activated with water, they're not permanent. And after all the shadows are created and I have a tonal sketch, I'm adding a little bit of color with oil pastels. I like this set because it's so small and it's easy to put in my bag and carry with me on location. Oil pastels will produce quite a bit of texture on watercolor paper. That's what I have in the sketchbook. They can be smoothed out to a certain extent, but sometimes this texture is actually nice, because a lot of objects that we see will have texture, like asphalt and those shingled roofs on the buildings, the trees. So the texture actually, I think, adds visual interest. It usually doesn't bother me that I will have texture on the sketch. I will post a full video of me working on the sketch a little bit later, so make sure to come back to the channel to check it out if you're interested to see the whole process. And here's another example, the same principle. This is actually Elegant Writer, smudged for shadows, and then oil pastels added for color and texture. So here are a few examples that I wanted to discuss with you in this video. Hopefully I gave you some ideas for on-location sketching or just sketching at home in your studio. Let me know in comments what is your favorite sketching materials combination. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video here on Tamirab Studios channel. Help other artists to see this video by liking or sharing it. To see future videos, subscribe and click the bell button to be notified when they're published. Thanks again and stay creative!